鸡蛋价格飞涨后，蔬菜价格也直线狂飙，网友吐槽还能吃得起什么？中共用冠冕堂皇的借口进口粮食，欲掩盖粮食危机。小麦价格大涨，后续存在持续涨价。8月9日，上海新增18例冠状病毒感染者，却甩锅给从外归国人员。在未知地点的墙上刷出返璞归真、怀念吃粮票时代的标语。
好，请上啊
！8月5日下午4时，湖南永州一个瓜摊摊主被城管当小孩面暴打。
好，请上啊！上啊！请上啊！这。上啊！请上啊！
下午3点30到40分左右，北至南。
8月9日，内蒙古草原突发被巨型龙卷风袭击，伤者在医院正在接受治疗，大约有150顶蒙古包被损坏。
美方粗暴干涉中国内政，蛮横无理，宣布所谓制裁的行径，遭到了包括香港在内的中国人民的一致强烈反对和谴责。各界纷纷谴责美国霸权主义的恶劣行径，有关官员公开表态，无惧制裁，体现了中国人的铮铮铁骨。从即日起，对在涉港问题上表现恶劣的美国联邦参议员卢比欧、克鲁兹、霍利、科顿、图米、联邦众议员史密斯以及美国国家民主基金会总裁戈什曼、美国国际事务民主协会总裁米德韦、美国国际共和研究所总裁特文宁、人权观察执行主席罗斯、自由之家总裁阿布拉莫维茨实施制裁。
美国卫生与公众服务部部长亚历克斯·阿扎尔周一会见了台湾总统蔡英文，这是华盛顿与台湾几十年来最高级别的政府会晤。韩国战友把灭掉中共的游行变成日常生活的一部分，把新中国联邦的旗帜插遍全世界。香港梁心黎智英等7人因涉嫌勾结外国势力，违反香港國安法，被黑港警在众目睽睽之下拘捕。
報出佢嘅辦公室罰㗎。黎生想問下，你覺得警方今日嘅行動係咪阻礙緊新聞自由同埋蘋果一報嘅將來嘅點啊？
的家园，无名英雄再次苏醒，带领人冲破黑暗，公益呐喊从未停歇，见证祈祷明天，举起盾牌肩并肩。
真理铸成坚战线，恶与欺骗弃剑，勇士保卫着母亲尊严，让热血激情春让生命正永恒，华夏儿女的心声。
U.S. Secretary of Health Alex Azar arrived in Taipei late Sunday afternoon, marking the highest-ranking U.S. official to set foot in Taiwan since Taiwan-U.S. diplomatic ties were severed in 1979.
During his scheduled 4-day visit, Azar is expected to meet with President Tsai Ing-wen, his Taiwanese counterpart, Health Minister Chen Shizhong, as well as sign a bilateral MOU to solidify Taiwan-U.S. cooperation in public health. A lawmaker in the legislature's Foreign Relations Committee says Azar's visit is not only an implementation of the U.S.'s Taiwan Travel Act, but also raises hopes that official visits by cabinet members will become the new norm.
At 2:33 in the afternoon, former Japanese Prime Minister Mori Yoshiro, along with a delegation of Japanese dignitaries, landed in Taipei's Songshan Airport in their charter flight. They rushed straight to the presidential office to meet with President Tsai before going to Lee's memorial at the Taipei Guest House. Keeping epidemic prevention in mind, both the Taiwanese and Japanese dignitaries had masks on the whole time. During Mori's chat with President Tsai, he presented her with a small gift symbolising the two nations' friendship, a comic magazine which had President Tsai on the cover.
The United States on Friday imposed sanctions on Luo Huining, the head of China's liaison office, as well as Hong Kong's leader Carrie Lam and other current and former officials. Washington accuses these officials of curtailing political freedoms in the global financial hub. The sanctions freeze any U.S. assets of the officials, prohibit them from carrying out business in the country, and generally bar Americans from doing business with them. Hong Kong financial regulators moved to calm market fears on Saturday as banks in the city grappled with the implications of the sanctions. The markets watchdog said it was not aware of any aspect of the sanctions that would affect how financial firms carry out their normal operations in the city. While some Hong Kong residents fear for the economic implications of the move, some welcome the news.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy with the results because I think it's kind of a justice in Hong Kong.
We continue to see the CCP doing power grabs. First it was India, gaining territory in India. Now you've got a conflict over here in Japan, right around the Senkaku Islands. And this is the longest continued presence along the Senkaku Islands since 2012. Also, China is expected to end the fishing ban in the South China Sea. We're expecting U.S. vessels there in the upcoming weeks. Tell me what's going on with this latest power grab of the Communist Party.
Yeah. Maria, I think you're right that this is just a continued instance of the pattern that China has over the last 6 months of using this pandemic for cover to take aggressive action against our neighbors. China, as you say, now has had a presence around those islands for the longest period of time since 2012, the last time there was a flare-up. And notably, China is saying that they're going to lift the ban on fishing around those islands next Saturday. If that happens, I would predict that you'd see a large number of fishing vessels, many of which are going to be cloaked, or actually are going to be in reality, Chinese Coast Guard or even Chinese Navy, probably armored up and ready to fight back against Japan's desire and intent to enforce its long-standing claim to those islands.
What would the Chinese Communist Party do with that information? What is the threat? How can they hurt us with our own information?
There's many threats, Maria. So first off, TikTok has been around for several years now. That means that young Americans who were using it are now in their early 20s. Some of those are in sensitive positions in our military or in the federal government or in industry or national laboratories working on cutting-edge projects. That's why the military has recently forbidden its service members from using TikTok even on their personal devices. Because imagine all the sensitive information in text messages and photographs and social media posts that the Chinese Communist Party could use as leverage to manipulate or even blackmail those young Americans. Or think about the kind of profiles that they are building on Americans that will be used for decades to come. And we have no idea how they're going to be able to use that information. And then finally, just that vast trove of data helps them in developing advances in things like artificial intelligence and machine learning. That is a huge benefit in the 21st century technology economy.
So you've got Microsoft trying to convince everybody that it is okay if it acquires TikTok, it can get rid of the national security issues. Now we understand Twitter talking to TikTok. What's your view on this? Should TikTok be allowed to get acquired in the United States? Will the Chinese surveillance and espionage ever be eliminated from TikTok at this point?
Maria, TikTok is like a Trojan horse on American cell phones, and that's why I commend the president for taking the action to ban TikTok in America if it's not wholly owned and operated by an American parent company. I encouraged the administration about a year ago to conduct the security review that ultimately led to this decision. That's because to most Americans, TikTok seems like a harmless, fun, short-form video app. But behind that app on your phone is a vacuum of data of everything on your device: contacts, emails, text messages, photographs, social media posts, even browser history, keystrokes, and location data. That all goes back to servers in China where it can be accessed by the Chinese Communist Party for decades to come. That's why if TikTok is going to operate in the United States, it has to have an American parent and be wholly owned and operated. Not just the servers and the data, but all of the source code, the algorithms, the engineers. There can be no lingering ties to China. And I think we have to be reasonably skeptical about any American companies to do that. They have to demonstrate to the satisfaction of the U.S. government that they can sever all those ties. Otherwise, these software companies will have to be banned in America for the safety and the privacy of Americans, especially our kids.
Dr. Yan, we have a question from one of our audience members. It's question number 9 for the AVN crew. And the question is, since COVID-19 is still roaming around the country and not acting like a seasonal flu, does that mean it might be getting weaker and burning itself out? And I think she's probably referencing perhaps the history of SARS-1. And I wondered if you could talk about that sort of potential decay of the virus.
Oh, okay. So first, I want to tell our audience that, yes, they have this idea because their idea based on this virus is some virus come from nature. After the natural evolution, and finally, this virus, this pathogen meets the host. Here, it means human, because human is shown to be the best host in the world for SARS-CoV-2. But these things based on the law of nature. And here we are talking about something special. We didn't see this virus on the other natural kind of character like we see before. And according to I said before, we analyze the genome and we see the evidence. This virus actually is definitely not come from nature, and it's already been modified through the lab, those kind of techniques. They even leave the evidence inside. And in my scientific report with my scientist team, I will show it to people. So here briefly, I want to tell you is, if you expect this kind of adaptation between the virus and the host, and then after a while, the mutant, and also this kind of balance from the immunity between the virus and also the human make it weaker, then I don't think it will become true soon. And as we see, it's already like second waves and even third waves happen in the world in many places like Hong Kong, or even later will come to US some places. So we have to know that to figure it out, how it can become such a big pandemic, how it like humans so much, has to back to the origin of this virus. That's why I call for people to come out and check the origin, to use your knowledge to verify the origins of this virus. It's not come from nature. It's based on the PLA-owned Zhoushan bat coronavirus. So it already get enhanced for some characters, like they like to attack the human ACE2, which is a receptor all over your world, all over your body in different type of the organs, and even the vessel endothelial, means it's on the blood vessel. So there are a lot of targets for this virus. And also it can be very lethal because this virus get bound into your cells, and also give a lot of the downstream damage to your body by leading the cytokine storm and later induce the thrombosis. This kind of things, if you expect just by the nature evolution get weakened, then the global health will be in a big damage. So we have to find out how they really modify this kind of virus and what kind of character is already obtained. Then focus on this, we have to develop the drugs or find out the useful drug we already had, like whether HCQ can be applied in different stage, like prevention and early stage of treatment, and also try to develop the vaccine. Like these ways we have to think about to overcome this virus.
另外一个，今天香港这个黎智英啊，还实际是被抓，它是必然的。就共产党这个流氓永远是，只要外国人、美国人啊，你来对我制裁了，我就打我孩子；你只要是说不给我钱了，不跟我勾兑了，那我就掐死我孩子。再不行，我把老婆我再给他脱光了扔到外面去啊，然后说你是这个让我们家人不和，这就是共产党啊，绑架了我们所有的亲人、家人和所有的尊严。你说你个不要脸的东西，你抓黎智英有啥用？抓他10个人有啥用啊？对不对啊？这就是共产党对待香港人、对待同胞那狠着呢，啊，永远是这样。对待别人永远不敢给人家钱，喊人家爹啊，不行喊人家爷爷啊。如果看不清共产党这个本质，我请问中国所有的同胞，你见过中国人和共产党啥时候抓几个外国人赶上弄回中国去啊？你敢吗？你得把你飞机扔到大海里面去，杀你那么多人，你敢吗？毛泽东的儿子都给灭了，你敢吗？你们这些欺内怕外、宠外啊、怕外惧外的，这是民族的劣质的劣种共产党啊！老天不灭你们啊，那就绝对没有天理。
美国 CCP 病毒感染突破500万，墨西哥有超过47万 CCP 病毒病例，巴西的 CCP 病毒死亡人数已超过10万人，印度 CCP 病毒感染病例已超过了200万，美国加州的感染病例达到了54万5千。尽管有严格的控制措施，澳大利亚仍记录了394例新增感染病例。新西兰100天内没有发现本地新增感染。由于 CCP 病毒祸患的持久，美国邮政服务在3个月内损失了22亿美元。星期天是新加坡的第55个国庆日，总理李显龙呼吁国民团结对抗病毒大流行。